United stand. This is our Manchester United versus Wolverhampton Wanderers Premier League preview. We'll also be updating you on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference this morning. Some very, very big updates on that. Talking about the director of football, talking about injuries, talking about Paul Pogba's future. But that is my predicted team. Well, it's not my predicted team, actually. It's the team I think we should play at the weekend, which we'll talk about in a moment. But without further ado, should I say, let's get in and talk about what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said about Paul Pogba, because I think that's probably going to be the most interesting thing. He was asked a question about what Zidane had said, talking about Paul Pogba over the weekend, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer answered it really, really well, but he also elaborated to take in what Paul Pogba had said over the international break. For those who don't remember that, Pogba had said that it's any player's dream to play at Real Madrid, and maybe he wants to go to Real Madrid in the future. But first of all, he was asked about Zidane, talking about Pogba, and Ole said, look, at the end of the day, this is the problem with the international break. Players are more accessible now. I personally don't agree with talking about players from other clubs, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is spot on about that, and I think Zidane is adopting the Real Madrid way, essentially, by trying to upstage and talk about our players. But yeah, I mean, and then he talked about Pogba and said, very interesting about Pogba, and it sort of fits in with the rant I had yesterday on the Pogba video, where I was like, I don't really like this division that is building up between United fans and Paul Pogba. I mean, a lot of United fans back Pogba, but some of them don't. And what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said is that Paul Pogba is a polite and nice person. And he was asked a question about Zidane and Real Madrid. And Zidane is a French icon, and Paul Pogba is French. And he was asked a question and he answered it. There's no issue there. And further elaborated and said, look, Paul Pogba's very happy at Manchester United. We're very happy to have him here. And is the sort of player you want to build a team around. So I don't think, as I said yesterday, and as I've said for a while, I don't see Paul Pogba leaving Manchester United. So if you're one of those United fans who are a little bit irritated with Pogba's comments, or you're a little bit thinking he's going to leave and this, that and the other, I really would just take a chill pill and try and relax about it and think, look, Paul Pogba, what Zidane said, he's right. There's very few players in world football can do what Pogba can do from the midfield, and he's our player. And Solskjaer seemed very relaxed about it. Didn't seem concerned at all. Actually saying that Paul is happy and a big part of Manchester United. So I don't see a problem with it. I think Paul Pogba will be at Manchester United for quite a while yet. Man United Boy 13 says, I know this is a bit off topic, but regarding Herrera, why would he only demand what PSG is offering if he didn't love the club and only wanted money? And we've also got a new member, which is welcome to Shiv Bajpai. Thank you. Welcome to the United Stand membership club. You can join that by clicking the join button or going through the link in the video description. But Wolves, Manchester United tomorrow night. It's thick and fast, isn't it? I mean, look, that weekend, let's park it, but effectively you've got 1 point, is it, or 2 points separating Chelsea, United, Arsenal and Spurs. Arsenal play tonight. We play tomorrow night, then Chelsea and Spurs play on Wednesday night. Chelsea home to Brighton, Spurs home to Palace. So you've got to assume that Chelsea and Spurs are going to win. You've got to assume that Arsenal are going to win at home to Newcastle tonight. So we've got to win tomorrow night. It's a very, very tough game against Wolverhampton Wanderers, but we've got to win because all the teams around us have got home games that I think they will win. We've got to win this game, but I'd said this in the international break. So important that we beat Watford and Wolves, but so important that we go up a few gears because we were very, very poor against Watford. A lot of people talk Wolves up. I mean, I think Wolves actually are 7th in the league, but there's a very big gap between 7th and 6th, and there's no danger that they're going to be anywhere near that top 6 race. What the problem with Wolves is, we saw it in the FA Cup. We had, Ole said it himself in the press conference. We had 70% possession. But we've got to be more progressive in the final third and higher the tempo, really. I genuinely, I watched that game like everybody else, and I felt that Wolves were sitting back and looking to pick us off. And I think that was a little bit naive from United because, we're the bigger name than Wolves, but they're the home team, and I think we could have been a little bit more intelligent in the way we approached that game. We had so much of the ball. They sat back and they picked us off. And their second goal was a slip, wasn't it, by Luke Shaw, and I think Romero and Lindelof could have done better. But fair play, Wolves won the game. But they only won it 2-1, and we were terrible in that game. So I fancy us to win this game. I think we will win this game. I think Wolves will be a different team. They'll be up for it. But I think Ollie will have seen how Wolves play. and have a plan to beat it. I mean, that's how I would line up. So De Gea in goal, Luke Shaw, Lindelof back. Lindelof and Martial and Lukaku all back, although Lukaku was on the bench at the weekend. Martial limped off, but Ollie says unless there's an issue in training this morning, they will all be back. Lindelof will be back. Bay's still out injured, as is Valencia, Darmian and Sanchez. I would play Dalot. I mean, that's the only change from the weekend that I would play. Obviously, Lindelof coming back in. I would play Dalot. I would not play Lukaku. I know some people in the live comments are saying we should play Romelu Lukaku. I wouldn't play Lukaku because if you think back to that Wolves game, we had a lot of the ball and Wolves sat very deep. So there's a lot of intricacy. There's a lot of you need players who are good on the ball, and we didn't create many chances in the box. So I don't think it's the right. Team to play to play Lukaku. Maybe use him in the last 20 minutes. I would use Rashford, Martial, and Lingard because we need a speed of movement and good touches. So I would go with those three. But Dalot is the player that I think should come in. I don't think he will. I think Ashley Young will play because Ashley Young is the captain. But I would play Dalot. I'm actually at the point now with Ashley Young where, yeah, he could play tomorrow night against Wolves and score a hat-trick and play really, really well. Those things don't surprise me with Ashley Young. They don't. I think that every now and again he has a good game. But he's offering absolutely nothing down the right-hand side. And Dalot, I just think, even if we're going to buy a right back in the summer, Dalot is better than Young. I would play Dalot in this game. I don't expect it to happen. I just wanted to say I would drop Young and play Dalot because I'm fed up of Ashley Young. I think defensively he's suspect and he's offering nothing going forward. So I just wanted to get that out. Sarab Chaudhary has made a contribution. Thank you. He says, I don't think Wolves are going to play their first team because of the FA Cup. I mean, the interesting thing about Wolves is they did lose 2-0 to Burnley at the weekend. And I know Burnley are a tough side, but their results recently aren't that great. They lost at Huddersfield, I think, in February. They've drawn with Newcastle. They're a good team against the top six. That's what Wolves are. I think they'll play their better team. I mean, it's only Tuesday, isn't it? They're not playing an FA Cup game till the weekend, and I think that they will pick up a strong team against us. But we've got to win this game. We've got to go on the front foot, and we've got to play the way that Manchester United play. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, just to go through what he said in the press conference, because there was some interesting things. The intention has to be attack. These are Ollie's words. We've got to keep that momentum going. We've had a couple of bad results, a couple of bad performances, but we can't change the good things that we've been doing over the last 3 months. And he mentioned that the intention has to be to attack, and we do need to get that momentum going. And we were lucky at the weekend. We could have stuttered a little bit, and we could have lost. And ultimately, Spurs losing to Liverpool, as much as we don't want Liverpool to win the league, that's a good thing for us in the race for top four. It closes it right down now. We've got to win against Wolves. I'm going to go with Manchester United to win it 2-1. I think we'll flip the FA Cup result round. But I'm expecting a big performance from Paul Pogba. I mean, he didn't play well against Wolves last time. He didn't play well at the weekend. But I think he is here to stay, and I expect a big performance from him. Herrera, I don't know where his performances have gone. I don't know whether it's because of the contract negotiations. I don't know. Matic needs to go up a level. I certainly think Martial needs to play better, but he did get an important goal at the weekend, and obviously Rashford scored as well. So I think we'll have more than enough for Wolves, but we cannot afford to play how we have in the last two games. The Wolves and Watford games prior to this have been really, really poor. So I expect a response, and I think we'll get that response because I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is fully aware of the poor performances of Manchester United, and the reality is that this is his job now. This is not interim. There's no uncertainty. He's got the job, and he needs to impart that firm way of playing on United. Pack 376, there's the third best defence away from home. Good record versus top six. What else did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer say? He said that, look, this was a very interesting thing that he said as well. He was talking about the Wolves game, and he says if we don't increase the tempo, we're going to be in trouble in this game. But he also was talking quite positively about the fact that we have got 4 scorers over 10 goals in the Premier League now. Pogba, Martial, Rashford and Lukaku, all over 10 goals in the Premier League. The first time United have had 4 players with over 10 goals in the Premier League since 1995. Well, you think about it, we won the treble in 99, so that's a long, long time. Even Ollie himself says, I'm really surprised by that stat, because you think about the 1919 with Sheringham, Solskjaer, Cole and York, and the fact that we won all those trophies, and we didn't have 4 players with over 10 goals. And we talk about United, and people still want to say we parked the bus under Ollie and all this crap. I mean, but that is quite an achievement to have, and not just total goals, Premier League goals. Martial, Lukaku, Rashford and Pogba all have over 10 Premier League goals this season, which is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, Pogba takes the penalties, I understand that. But that's still a great achievement. And a lot of that is down to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and what he's achieved over this last 3 months. So we are an attacking team. We are a team that likes to go on the front foot. And I think we really, we need to do that. We definitely need to do that. And I look at the scheduling, and I mentioned this last night as well. If we can win tomorrow, it's like a quick 1-2, a quick 6 points over 3 days. And then we've got 8 days until the Barcelona game. And it's like another mini international break for this team. But no one's going to be going away to play for their country. They're actually going to have 8 days off before that Barcelona game. I would like to have been in the FA Cup semi-final. It would have been nice. But when you look at it now, if we'd got through against Wolves, we would have had an FA Cup semi-final at the weekend, then Barcelona, then a weekend game against West Ham, then Barcelona, then Everton, then Man City, then Chelsea. And it's a game every 3 or 4 days. So I think if we get the win tomorrow against Wolves, have a week off before Barcelona, that week could be really, really, really important to Manchester United as we move into this critical stage of the season. Really, really is. He was also asked about the director of football, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I think there was a very strong hint that we will be getting a director of football at Manchester United very, very soon. He said that football has changed over recent years, and we are looking to run things far, far more smoothly at the club. And he said that, I want to be speaking with people who understand what football's all about. There was certainly not a hint from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that they don't need a director of football or a head of recruitment. So that was really positive. I think a few of you have been talking about that recently, saying it's gone very, very quiet around that, which I agree with. It has gone quiet with that, but I think we've got reason to be very positive about that from what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said in his press conference. Welcome to Pani MUFC, who is our latest member of the United Stand membership club. And hope Bay comes good. I like the guy, says the music channel. Well, it's unfortunate for Bay that he's gone and got himself injured. But then again, Phil Jones is back fit. And we are going to go through the Phil Jones cycle, as I said before. The cycle of Phil Jones, you should all know it. Comes back from injury, plays 3 or 4 good games, makes a big mistake, gets injured again. So we've got a couple more games where I think Phil Jones will play well. We'll have to just wait and see when the bad point comes from him. But no, look, I'm really excited about this game tomorrow. I mean, Watford was a bit of an odd game. Watford, wasn't it? I mean, now we're 48 hours on from it. I think that basically the best thing you can say about the Watford game is great that we got the 3 points, because they were they were the better team. They should have got at least a point out of it, but win when you're playing badly and move on again. And I think if we can go to Wolves tomorrow and win, that Watford performance won't really bother us. I mean, everybody has bad games through the season. The fact that we won it, really, really good. Wolves, yes, very, very good side against the top 6. But I think we need to just go and impose our game on them. They won't impose their game on us. That's not how they play. They look to hurt you on the break. And I just think we need to be a little bit more intelligent with that. Don't be impatient. If we win it 1-0 in the last 10 minutes, fine. But we've got to win. I mean, the nerves are going to. I think it's going to be a very nervy April. But I even got nervous before the Watford game at the weekend, and I can feel the nerves coming for the Wolves game, because it's just thin margins, and you don't want to be the team that slips first. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got Arsenal, United, Spurs, and Chelsea. 4 teams going for 2 spots, and I think we will be in a position probably by towards the end of April where we're saying it's down to 3 teams going for it. One of those 4 teams will slip and lose points and start to drop away. You don't want to be the team that slips first. And when you go, and each round of games now is becoming really, really tense. And we've got the toughest game. As I said, Chelsea got Brighton, Spurs have got Palace. Arsenal have got Newcastle, and we're going away to Wolves. On paper, that's a really, really tough game. But if we come through that Wolves game, Arsenal have got a game in hand, but they go to Everton at the weekend. So that becomes a potential banana skin for them. So we got to win this game. We don't want to be the first team to slip, but we've got to move up through the gears, 100% on that. Safe Rahman says Pogba out, Decore in. I mean, I do wonder about why people are saying Paul Pogba out. For what reason would you be saying that? I mean, what is it that Paul Pogba has done wrong? It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, Paul, he's absolutely Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just this morning, for those joining us a little bit late, has addressed the Paul Pogba thing and said, look, he was asked a question about a French icon in Zidane on the international break. He's a nice, polite guy, and he spoke about it. And the situation is Paul Pogba's happy at Manchester United. And, you want to build a team around him. So we just got to get behind Pogba. We just got to hope that he starts putting the performances in. I find it funny that some people would say, well, Pogba doesn't want to be here. He's not licking the arse of United enough. Get rid of him. Well, you don't know the personalities of other people. For all you know, Matic might just be at United because he wants money. Same with another player. Luke Shaw could be like that. I love Luke Shaw. I don't know. You don't know what the personalities or motives of the players are. But the reality is, we go with what we've got. We've got a very important time, and until proven otherwise, Paul Pogba's a Manchester United player. McTominay should be starting, says Phobia CHH. I mean, there's an interesting thing around that. I mean, McTominay, I think I still think a bad Matic is miles better than McTominay. And I know McTominay did well for us against PSG, but McTominay, very rare. I still don't think he's anywhere near a top 6 midfielder. I think he got thrown in at the deep end in a couple of games and he did very, very well, but I still think he's quite a long way off being a Manchester United starter. I think he needs to go on loan next season, to be honest. He needs to get first team football. I don't see him stepping forward and being a solution for us, especially at not this time of the season. What we need is Nemanja Matic to step up to the plate. Karato Janga says Pogba wants to leave. I mean, you've got absolutely no evidence of that, but fair enough. Keep the agenda going. And Martial and Rashford were good. Only our midfield got outbeat, says Anthony Kang. I think that and Chops Howe's got the pink boots out. I mean, Phil Jones might play tomorrow. We know it's no secret that people like Mike Phelan and Carrick and Solskjaer, they like Phil Jones. He played well at the weekend. He was up there for man of the match. So you can't drop Smalling. Maybe Lindelof won't start. I don't know, but Lindelof needs to start because the one thing that we did miss against Watford is the midfield battle that was being spoken about there. And I think a lot of people wanted to get on the back of Martial and Rashford, but they scored goals. And at the end of the day, that's always the get out of jail card for strikers, is that you can have a bad game, but if you score a goal in a winning game and it's tight, well, your performance, that sort of gets you out of jail. So I think Martial and Rashford got away with that at the weekend, and they 100% have to start. The midfield were just not good enough. But talking about Jones and Smalling and whether Lindelof should come back in, Lindelof 100% should come back in, because one of the things that we did struggle with, and the defence played very well, is the distribution from the back to the midfield was crap, because Jones and Smalling, no matter how well they played, and they did play well because they had to do a lot of defending, neither of those two players are good at taking the ball off De Gea and feeding the midfield. Lindelof's very good at that, so we need Lindelof back in for that reason, because the midfield was awful against Watford. It was dominated, but it wasn't helped by the poor ball that was coming from the back. So we definitely need Lindelof to come in. But it's surprising, really, because I was saying in sort of February time that name me a better midfield three than Matic, Herrera and Pogba, because I thought they complemented each other so well. CDM, Matic, box-to-box, Herrera, Pogba more advanced. And over the last couple of games, it's not been there, but they can get back to that. There could be reasons for that. Pogba might have been a bit tired after the international break. Herrera has been injured. Maybe his head's not quite right. Matic, I don't know. Matic, I always think looks very, very tired. But they've got to get themselves together, because if that midfield doesn't sort itself out, we're going to struggle. Not only at Wolves, Barcelona, City, Chelsea, Everton away. These are going to be tough games if that midfield three doesn't sort itself out very soon. The fact we are getting dominated by Watford makes me very worried for Barcelona, says Matthew Daly. The Barcelona game for me is on the horizon and it's very exciting, but the priority is the league. Surely the league. I mean, I want to beat Barcelona, but I want to get these 3 points against Wolves first, to be honest. We just need to be in that position in the league where we're putting the pressure on and not slipping up. Pogba's head is in Madrid, says Safe Rahman. Yeah, whatever. Name a better midfield. Neves, Moutinho and Dendoncker, says Shiv. Yeah, I can name about 10 better midfields in the Premier League, but crack on. Take Lingard off and put Lukaku, says Monsieur Candil. I totally disagree with that. I don't see why you would put Lukaku in a game like this against a team that plays football but also sits deep. Oh yeah, let's play Lukaku, where we knock the ball into his feet and it ends up in Birmingham, which is next to Wolverhampton. It's no good. No good. I wouldn't play Lukaku in this game. People said we missed Lukaku against Wolves. How did we miss Lukaku against Wolves? We created no chances in the box hardly. And our problem against Wolves was the breaking down of the play in the final third. Well, that's not Lukaku's strength. So if you're going to use Lukaku in this game, you use him in the last 20 minutes. I would not start Lukaku in this game. Play Chong instead of Lingard? No. Why would you play? I think Lingard needs to play. We need to get back to that front three, Martial, Rashford and Lingard. How we set up is very interesting, actually. I would go back to the 4-3-3 that's worked well for us under Ollie. I think the best football we've played, bar Chelsea away, has been the 4-3-3. And I think Chelsea away, we caught them on the hop with the diamond. Mata played quite well against Wolves. Watford. You could make a case for playing Mata, but I think we need the speed and the energy of Martial and Lingard around with Rashford. I would go 4-3-3. I would not. I think the diamond worked well for a little bit, but I think the diamond should be the backup option. I think go back to what was working well for us and go back to 4-3-3. That's what I think. Welcome Chris Tanstavis, latest member of the United Stand, and Paul Robinson Craig Waterburn says, without doubt, I know we have Rashford there, but we should interchange them more often. Rashford was terrible against Wolves. Lukaku might offer some physicality. Rashford was getting bullied, says Manan Chanana. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but I think I'm talking to you about the way that game went. I mean, how does Lukaku, other than maybe offering a bit of physical presence against Wolves, what's the point of that physical presence? We're not going to play long ball against the team that sits back. He's going to need to hold the ball up. So yeah, he can use the physicality, but has he got the touch to hold it up? I'm not disagreeing with you that Rashford did get bullied a bit, but Lukaku may be physically able to deal with him, but he hasn't got the touch of Rashford. He hasn't got the build-up play. He hasn't got the passing. So I don't think it's a game that suits Lukaku, but I might be wrong. We've got your member alert, Chris. Welcome to that. Mark Mata to Barcelona, says Prodigy King. I think it would be a good... I would not shed a tear if Juan Mata left Manchester United. I know that sounds really ruthless, but I think ruthlessness is important. He's been a really great player for us, a great servant. Wanfield, what a goal that was. But I just don't think Mata offers anything in the future for United anymore. Lingard was lost in the last game against Wolves, says Eamon Cahill, but so was Martial. I mean, if you remember correctly, Lingard and Martial and Matic and Herrera in the Wolves game in the FA Cup had literally all just come back from injury, and they looked like they were still rusty. So I would give them time off for that. 4-3-3 against Wolves. We tried 4-1-2-1-2 with Rashi and Martial up top, and it didn't work, says Kohler. Ollie said he might play Pogba deeper in a 2 to get him more involved, says Jack Nolan. I thought that was a very interesting comment, actually. Joe Wan says Mata to Barcelona. I'm going to have a quick look at that in a minute because a few people are obviously talking about it. But the Pogba thing is quite interesting, isn't it? Because I did read what Solskjaer said about Paul Pogba and saying he plays deeper for France, so maybe we can get him involved more deep. I think we're becoming Jose Mourinho's team then. I think that's. I think that we are. I think that Pogba works better, more advanced, and I think that's the best place that we should be looking at for Paul Pogba. I know he can play a little bit deeper, but I don't think so. I don't think that's the way I would go. The Paul Pogba thing. Let me just have a look. The Juan Mata rumour. Remember, it's not April Fool's anymore, so we shouldn't be moaning about that too much. It could be an April Fool. Look, if Juan Mata goes to Barcelona, all I would say about that is fair play. He probably deserves that sort of thing. And actually, you know what? People would say, oh my God, we've lost Juan Mata to Barcelona, one of the best teams in the world. But is he going to start for Barcelona? No. Is he going to play regularly for Barcelona? Possibly. But it's probably a very good move for Barcelona and Juan Mata because, you know, Barcelona can know in the game against the pub sides at the bottom of La Liga, in the bottom half, they can play Mata, and there's so much space for him. I wouldn't, as I said, I wouldn't shed a tear if he went to Barcelona. I wouldn't think, oh, we're losing a player to a big club. I don't. The pace of La Liga suits Mata's game now far more than the fast pace of the Premier League. So yeah, I would say that. Would you swap Alexis Sanchez and Herrera for Verratti? I would, but it won't happen because PSG are not stupid, and I can't see that happening, to be honest with you. Reece Sutherland says, you think a better kit 1920 will attract players? yeah. The kit that we wear, Reece, is bound to have a big impact on the players that want to come and sign for us. No, I don't think it'll have anything. What if Herrera goes to PSG and becomes 88 rated, says Sinless? And do you think we need a new CDM, says Faisal Man? 100%. Yeah, 100%. I do. I think that we do need a new centre defensive midfielder. I've been saying that for a while. Mata would be really good squad player at Barcelona. We need more pace, says Michael Richards. Absolutely spot on. Couldn't agree more. Any rumours we're in for Niguez? We should be, says Lynn Hall. I think Man City are in for Niguez, Lynn. I've not heard anything about United. Do you think we've seen the best of Eric Bailly, says Cola? I think Eric Bailly is going to go in the summer. I don't agree with that, but I think he's going to go. I think there's clearly a mistrust of Eric Bailly in the United camp. He doesn't get picked anywhere near as much as I would have thought he would do. The De Gea contract, we'll just have to wait and see. We've got a new member of the United Stand. The reason I say every time we get a new member is because if you become a new member whilst we're live, it flashes up on the live comments. So welcome Football India, new member. If you want to sign up and be a member, I should just explain this on every show. You can now become a member of the United Stand Members Club on YouTube. All you've got to do is click the join button underneath the video or go through the link in the video description. That will give you access to exclusive emojis, which I'm sure people can do some demonstrations on the live comments for you now, which work really well on the watch-alongs. You also get your name in green, and you get a little green badge next to your name. Second month, you remember, the badge changes all the way through to the Elite 3-star United Stand FC badge. Plus, we've got our own community tab on the United Stand YouTube homepage, where you can get exclusive members, polls and things like that. There are also stuff on for people who are non-members, and also, as I've said before, it's a members club. There won't be additional content on there. We don't want to do that. It's just about people supporting the channel. It's a £5 a month, which is very, very little when you think about how much content's on there. So the members club is really just about, the emojis, having the badges, and supporting the channel. That's what it's all about. So you can do that through the link in the video description and the join button. Do I think Pereira would start, says Ashvin? I mean, part of me thinks that, and Sophie is on tonight, the music channel, and welcome to Ryan Shah, who is our newest member. Part of me did think about whether Pereira could start, because there is an issue with Herrera. The last couple of games for Ander Herrera have not been good enough. Alexander M has just sampled all the emojis for there, with which we're going to be adding a lot more. But Pereira played well when he came on against Watford. He scored a very, very good goal against Southampton. He's knocking on the door, is Andreas Pereira, in that box-to-box position. And I just wondered, whether he would not play Herrera for this game, because there's something wrong with Herrera. I don't know whether... See, I'm not one of these sensationalists who go, Pogba's head's in Madrid, Herrera's head's in Paris. Well, where's Matic's head? Is his head in Madrid as well? Because I'd like Matic to go. But no, I just think that our midfield is struggling with form at the moment. And... maybe dropping Herrera for Pereira is not a bad idea. However, it's such a big game. I'm hopeful that we'll see the real Ander Herrera. And in that case, obviously, I would play him. I'm playing FIFA at 1:30, Jack Nolan. So in an hour's time on That's Football. Do you think we can get Kante, says Faisal? Not a chance. Not a chance. I think Sarri's gone in the summer. And whoever comes in will have a better brain than Sarri and realise that Kante should be playing CDM because he's one of the best in the world. And they'll start playing Hudson-Odoi as well. So we're not going to sign him. Football India says, Martial now needs to step up just like Marnie in every game. We want more from him. Look, I love Anthony Martial. I agree Anthony Martial had a bit of an off game against Watford. But he scored a goal. And that's what being top class is all about. When you play badly, you impact. I say this about Hazard all the time. There's no doubting Eden Hazard is a very, very good player. But too many times for Chelsea, he doesn't impact on the game. And Chelsea fans say, well, it's not his fault, it's Higuain and everyone around him. But they don't understand that Ronaldo when he was at United, still scored goals. Salah played crap for Liverpool yesterday. All right, it was a fortuitous goal at the end, but he still is involved. And Martial at the weekend played crap, but scored a goal. And that's what I like about Martial. That's why he's got over 10 goals this season in the Premier League, because he can have a bad game, but he can contribute, and that's important. Welcome to Christopher N, the newest member as well. That's just flashed up for me. Play Romero over De Gea, says Gizo. God, no. Please, no. No, no, no. And Andrew Rossi is loving the chair emoji. Well, people asked for that, so there we go. No April Fools. I hate April Fools, Strombani, and it finishes at midday anyway, and it's now midday. I hate April Fools. You know why I hate April Fools? Because it's the day... April Fools would be brilliant if they just left it to funny people, but it's the day where plonkers try to be funny. And I turned the telly on this morning, you got Piers Morgan on Good Morning Britain trying to do some exclusive nonsense. Absolute jokes, absolute jokes. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. Back at 8 o'clock with Sophie, and join the members club if you want to. I'll see you at 8 o'clock. Thanks for watching.